Good morning, Doug.
Good morning.
So, could you tell the people who are watching this a little bit about what they're seeing behind you? Because it's kind of salient to who you are.
Well, behind me over my left shoulder is the Ballard Bridge, and that is a bridge that was constructed that connected the area that we now know as Ballard here in Seattle to the rest of the city. And Ballard is important in my life because it is the center of where Scandinavian immigrants who were coming to this area migrated. And that is where the clothing store was that my grandfather owned and ran, and in which I worked as a small child.
So, really, what people are getting to see is the landscape of where you grew up.
Absolutely.
That's
And
kind of cool.
this theme of bridges has been constant in my life from early life up until this campaign.
And the bridge has been kind of the metaphor you've used for connecting. And I'm
Right.
wondering if you can talk a little bit about what it's been like connecting to people during these last 8 months.
Well, it's really been quite extraordinary. I think in psychology, a lot of us work and live in fairly enclosed communities. And for me to have had an opportunity to connect with people from all over the North American continent who are doing all kinds of things in addition to clinical practice, which of course I'm familiar with, but scientists and academics, teachers, educators, organizational psychologists, and child clinical psychologists, people who have all sorts of interests that I've been able to hear about and engage in dialogue with. It's just been an amazing experience.
Because I hear you've gone running with a few of them.
Oh yes, absolutely. Always, always.
So, as you head towards the end of the campaign, what is it you want people to remember about what your visions are for psychology?
What I want people to remember most is going back to our basic mission, how much we can bring this society, what we can do, all of the things that we have in terms of our knowledge base in psychology to bring to improve people's lives and to make this society a better place for everybody. But we can't do that if we aren't connected, and if we're not together and agreeing on how to proceed. It doesn't mean we need to agree on everything, but we need to collaborate, and we need to be thoughtful and respectful. And remember, there's no need to factionalize inside. We can come to some constructive decisions together and work together to really make a good connection with our culture.
Now, speaking of that, it seems as if your initiatives have been opportunities for people to make connections with you. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Well, the three initiatives that we started off with were, I think, really, really good points of contact for people to have some conversations and talk about things that are really part of everyday life for most people in the United States, and they are trauma in everyday life, where we think about the daily events like bullying or like microaggressions or like workplace stress even that affects people every day in a traumatic way. The evolving family, so that our concept of what a family is expanded to reflect the way it really is developing, and so that families with same-sex parents or immigrant families, single-parent families, families of choice, blended families, all get included, studied, and related to by psychology. And then lastly, the body-mind connection was really, really very interesting because we were able to expand it beyond the basic premise, which was how physical well-being impacts mental and emotional well-being, but also to look at evolution and changes in brain science, to look at integrative healthcare and see where we're going in terms of policy and how psychology can have a leadership role in that as well. Beyond that, of course, during the campaign, things happened in the world that increased my sensitivity to and concern about international issues of racism and hate-based crimes. We saw the massacre in Norway, which of course affected many of us, but speaks to the rise of hatred in the Western world, and that is definitely something that I think we want to use our existing partnerships with international psychological associations to to address our concern about violence in the Middle East and that's effect on people. And so when I am president, we will certainly be using our international partnerships as well to address some of those issues.
So Doug, is there anything else you'd like to say to the voters as they get ready to go online and mark their ballots?
For those of you who have been in touch with me that are first-time APA voters, that large majority of you who don't vote in presidential elections or haven't voted up until now, I want to say thank you for listening to me, and thank you for responding to me, and thank you for voting for me, because we want to include everybody. What I have tried to do in this campaign is make sure that every psychologist who's a member of APA feels the urge to connect, like they are part of something larger, part of a professional identity that motivates us. And to those people, I want to say thank you for joining and thank you for your vote.